How many hours a week do entrepreneurs work? So welcome back. I'm glad you're here. Now today's episode, we're going to talk about entrepreneurs and how many hours a week they work. So if you are an entrepreneur, you're a freelancer, whichever you might be, this is really going to be up to you. But I'm going to kind of open up your eyes to a lot of things. Now before I give you any advice on where to start, I want to make this statement so that you understand where I come from. Don't quit your job. Now don't even dream about quitting that job unless you already have at least 6 months reserves to take care of not only you, but to take care of your family, because they're going to be really nervous until the money starts rolling in. So again, I'm going to say it, don't quit your job. Now, if you can't stand the boss, what you're going to have to do is, instead of complaining a lot, is you're going to have to open up a dialogue. And you're going to have to dialogue with that boss, he or she, and negotiate, figure out some different hours, maybe more hours, less hours, maybe up the pay, maybe down the pay, maybe do something that they need you to do that's extra so you can keep that job, and you'll be glad you did because you're going to need that money. So don't quit your job until you have reserves that not only take care of you, but also take care of your family. Now, what I like to talk about, and I'm fond of talking about this, is we're really talking about making good money and not having a job or having a boss. Now, there's lots of entrepreneurs out there, there's lots of freelancers, and they're all pushing themselves to quit their job, all right? Now, I know tons of people that have a 40-hour week work, and they want to get out of that 40 hours. They'll do anything. They hate that job. And they quickly discover, as soon as they get out of that job, that they just got a new job, and now it's 60 hours a week being an entrepreneur. And maybe they're even making less money or the same money. So, folks, just take your time and do this slowly. Now, the internet lifestyle, it's a myth. It's somebody made it up that you're going to be on the beach every afternoon or golf or tennis and all that. Don't buy into that thinking. You're going to work much harder as an entrepreneur or as a freelancer than you ever did working for anybody else. There's not going to be a lot of walking on the beach. I can assure you of that. Now, wealthy people, they're working 50, 60, 70 hours and more every week. And you know what? Most of them don't even need the money. Male, females, whatever, but they've built up a foundation and built a business. So it's your job to do the same thing as an entrepreneur. So start thinking that you're going to work 60 hours. So before you quit that 40-hour week job, I'd really give it a lot more thought. Now, what's the trend? The trend has been the same for a number of years. People want to head for home and they want to work there. Now, it's got a whole bunch of other ramifications on how you're going to handle it at home. So if you want to be independent, you want to work for yourself, you want to be your own boss, those are all admirable skills. Okay, but don't dream about you're going to work in the morning and have every afternoon on the beach, because it's not going to work out that way. You're going to have to work a lot harder. Now, I found out how to generate income from home, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about that right now. I've learned to make good money. I don't have a boss. I don't have a job, but I've got an awful lot of work to do. But this business really works, so I'm going to tell you about it right now. So when I discovered this business, it was really eye-opening for me. Now, it's very lucrative. You can make lots of money, but unfortunately, it's not very glamorous. There's nothing glamorous. It's not high-tech, although it's an industry that's been around for hundreds of years and people know about it. And you know about traditional real estate. You know about houses. You know about real estate agents. You know about attorneys. You know about residential lots are being sold that are buildable. You know that small apartments are sold and small farms are sold and so on. So that's a traditional real estate business. I'm going to show you a subset of that I got involved in. So traditional real estate is A-okay. They all understand that, but it's a very regimented business and it's hard to make money and it's very competitive. In the good times, there'll be over 1 million real estate agents for you to compete with. In the bad times, there'll be half of that many, but there's half as many properties. All right, so there's always going to be plenty of brokers and realtors and attorneys and title companies and all that. I got involved in a subset of that again was 200 years old, but for me, it was a whole new discovery. And what it was all about is that in 3,000 plus counties across America, properties were going into default. Now, what does that mean? That means that people were not paying their taxes. they were not paying their property taxes. So now the local government had a problem. So what did the local government do? Well, they got the legislature, the state legislature, to pass laws in every single state that said you must pay property tax. And if you don't pay property tax, the government is going to have consequences for you. And the consequences are tax lien certificates and tax defaulted property. Well, when I found out about tax defaulted property, the government actually, the local government, the county actually seizes that property. They confiscate the property because someone didn't pay the tax. Now, why on earth would they confiscate the property? They're going to confiscate it so they can sell it for pennies to pay the taxes. Now, what's such a big deal about taxes? Well, taxes are what pay the county employees, what pay the firefighters, what pay the school teachers, what pay the police department, help with the hospital. So the county has to collect money every single year, and they just want revenue from property taxes. All right, if they can't collect the property tax, well, then they have to do something about it. So the legislature authorizes the Board of Supervisors or the county commissioners to, number one, to mandate that the treasurer levy the tax, collect the tax, and if they can't collect the tax, they mandate the treasurer confiscate, that is, seize the property, take it away from the individual, and then sell it. Now, they sell it at a public auction. Now, the amazing part of all this is they're going to sell it at a county auction, and they're going to discount it from the appraised value, so the tax assessor thinks it's worth this much, but they're going to discount it down by 60, 70, and 80% and sell it at a public auction. You can go to the public auction. Anybody can go. All that's required is that you have money to pay for the property. So let's review. All the properties come up for auction in each county. Now, how does that work? Well, if it's a large county, they'll have many properties because of when I say large, I mean large population. All right, so large population, there'll be many defaults. Now, what is the county going to do? They don't want the property, so they're going to sell it. They're going to discount it. 60%, 70%, 80%. Now, in a small population county, same situation. They'll confiscate the property. They'll put it out for auction. They'll auction 60, 70, 80% below the market value. Now, what does that mean to you? That means you could be buying real estate properties for 10 cents, 20 cents, and 30 cents on the dollar. And to top it off, the county is going to wipe out the mortgage. They're going to X out the mortgage. They're going to delete it. They're going to cancel it from the property. So there's going to be no mortgage or deed or trust loan on the property. You can go in and buy those properties. Now, when they start the auction, they usually start it at very close to the back taxes. I don't know what it'll sell for. Nobody knows what it'll sell for. It's a public auction. But I'm going to tell you it's going to start at 60, 70 cents on the dollar, and they're going to sell that property with no mortgage. Anybody can get involved. Now, are these brand new properties? Absolutely not. These properties are not brand new. Most of them are slightly used and abused. Some of them are junk. Just forget about the junk. You don't want to buy those. Some of them will be move-in quality. All right, so they'll be properties you can move right into. Now, do you suppose those will get bid up? If it looks like a fancy house and it's nice, people will bid those up. Okay, so you have to go to the auction and find out. These auctions are selling property in all 3,000 plus counties. They will have properties for sale. Some of the auctions will have just dozens of properties. Other auctions will have hundreds, even thousands of properties are sold at these auctions. There's over 5,000 auctions every year, and those are sold in the 3,000 different counties. The starting price is the back taxes. All right, now there's nothing that's unusual about this. Now, if you'd like to see an auction list, I'm going to put one up right now. All right, so this is my interactive calendar. You can see that. I can hover over any state using this magic device that Mike created. Now, I use this magic device. Look at that. I can see how many auctions are going to happen. If you'd like to have an auction list, when I finish today, I'll tell you how you can get one of those auction lists free. Okay, quick review. There's over 3,000 counties. They all sell tax defaulted property. They all do that. All right. They're going to start the bidding at 10, 20 cents on the dollar. Okay. The properties are discounted 60, 70, 80%, and the county cancels the mortgage. This is happening in every county across the United States. All right. Now, when they cancel the mortgage, they cancel the deed or trust loan, whichever one's on the property. That means there's no mortgage to pay. So what have I been talking about today? I'm talking about a subset of the real estate business, and you could call that tax liens and tax deeds. All right, now auction records are kept at the county level. You will purchase from the county. You can't purchase from me. You're going to invest with the local government. You're going to get a check back from the government. So you're kind of getting the idea. If you'd like to have an auction list, this is my interactive calendar. I can turn this cursor and I can find out the auctions with this magic tool in every single county in the United States. If you'd like to have an auction list, just go to tedthomas.com, free auction list, and we'll send you an auction list. All right, now if you get involved in real estate, a couple of things you really have to be cautious of. One, don't buy any real estate no matter what the price, unless you've seen it and had boots on the ground. A lot of reasons for that. There's hurricanes, there's fire, could be next to a chicken farm. Don't buy any property you haven't seen. Secondly, don't buy any property unless you know what you can sell it for. It's called an exit strategy. If you learn those two things, you'll have all the wisdom you ever need for real estate and you'll be able to make yourself some money. So don't buy a property unless you've seen it. Make sure that you know what you're going to sell it for before you buy it. My name is Ted Thomas. I'll see you on the next video.